What is up, Cooksy Mob? Holy crap. If you guys didn't watch World Supercross, you missed out. To quote Dumb and Dumber, just when I think the series couldn't be any worse, they totally redeemed themselves. This was one of the coolest and best events that I've seen in a long, long time. Let me just click this down so I can see your guys' chat. There we go. Okay, so if I look down, it's because I'm looking at your guys' chat. But wow, this was so cool. So they have a small arena. They didn't use up all the arena on the start. Qualifying mattered. They put Ken Roczen in the second row all three races, which made for just an amazing event. Watching Vince Friese looking like a bulldozer out there. He was made for arena cross. Yes, it was completely dirty what he did to Dean Wilson, but guess what? Dean Wilson, he said it himself. He left the door open. You know who's behind you. Vince had to ride that way, and that's how he rode, and that's why it slowed it down. It comes to making the guess on whether you can go wide, get the speed, and get the gap. He didn't have the gap yet. And I guess, rumor has it, the team owner of Dean's team got into it with Vince Friese bad in the pits. Hopefully we'll get some video on that. Let's see if we got some questions here. What up, Swamp Picker, Ken Dickinson, Real JD, my man, what's happening? Got any phrases that I can coin? You always seem to come through with some good stuff, but man, that racing was the best. Joey Savacci, quiet all night long, ends up with the win. Friese had it in the bag, but then when he got pushed off, I'm sorry, but I don't know, and I've been texting back and forth with Adam Bailey. I don't know what the penalty was exactly. I was begging him to say on the broadcast. I never heard, and hopefully they didn't say it after I finally shut it off. Yeah. JD, like I said, what about Savacci? Savacci is consistent. He got in there. And this is not his forte. He's a guy that doesn't like contact. He doesn't like this type of racing. And same with Ken Roczen. This was tailor-made for a guy like Vince Friese. Dean can ride that way. He usually chooses not to, but man, I'm sorry, guys. And then let's just go back and take a look at World Supercross. Where they were at England and where they are now is completely different. So that event in England was horrible. It was so cringe to watch. While I like Jeff Emig and while I like Ralph, they're gone. They don't get it. They don't understand. They have not evolved with the sport. They brought in Paul Malin. You want to have a world championship announcer? That's Paul Malin. He's so good. I love the voice. It gave the ambiance of a true world championship. Yes, we don't have the riders yet, and it doesn't have that prestige yet, but we got the right formula now. And Grant Langston, yeah, you can tell he was a little rusty. He hasn't announced in a long time, but GL is the best. No matter what you say about GL, he gives you his honest opinion, and that's all I ask for these guys. I don't care if they mix up words and call it Abu Dubu, whatever they call it. I don't care. I just want honest opinions, and I want to hear authenticity out of my announcers. So, yeah, hey, Ken Roczen, he was riding really good. Apparently in qualifying. I missed qualifying. I was thinking it was starting at 5 my time Pacific, but I missed qualifying. But qualifying was so important, and that's what I've been begging for, guys, is a 2-row start. So you get the front runners up front. How great was the racing with the 2-row start? And then if you have a guy like Roczen who has a bad qualifying session and he's in the second row, how much better does it make it? And same with McElrath in the 250 class. Both these guys had to come through the pack. One did, one didn't. So I'm telling you, 2 rows is the future of the sport. but they got to do away with what they call those, the starting blocks. What did he call them? Paul Malin had the best thing for him. See, I jotted in my notes here. He called them nursery blocks. I love it. From now on, I'm calling them nursery blocks. That's the best. They're not start blocks. They're nursery blocks, guys. That is awesome. Yeah, Rick Ware Racing, bringing it home. It was so good. So freaking good. And to see Max Anstey riding like a savage out there, this was the best event that I've seen in a long time. I've been missing racing, as I'm sure you guys have too. But to see World Supercross come back on the stage in Abu Dhabi with the right announcers, the right format, the thing was just boom, 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 like nonstop action. And then to see like my boy Chris Blos get a main event win. I don't know what we call these GP races, because the overall doesn't seem to matter that much, because the points are paid per race. So it's almost like 3 main events throughout the night. So I'm going to say Chris Blos got a win. So essentially, the way they pay the points, it's not like Super Duper Supermoto SMX, where they pay the overall points. They pay points per race. So it's kind of like World Superbike. If you guys are familiar with World Superbike, every race is considered like a race. It's not overall. It's not 2-1 finish. They race. The points are paid out per moto. So essentially, it's a win. A win is a win. But Dean Wilson, love seeing Dean Wilson get back in there. He looked like the Dean Wilson of old. And then Ken Roxon before that third moto getting hyped up. That was hilarious. Kristen Beats down there on the starting line, and he lets out a yell and when he does that, he scared her. I'm sorry, the raw emotion of this event and the way that World Supercross gets you right down in it with these announcers, this is the formula, guys. I absolutely love it. I don't know if the 2-row start was just because the arena was so small, but I want to see this everywhere. I want to see this at every round. This is the way it should be. If you're going to make these guys do 3 starts in a row, I think it makes for, getting the right guys up front. And when you get the right guys up front, look at the racing we had. It was amazing. We had all the fast guys up there, except Ken Roxon. He's so fast, he got up in there. It was one hell of an event. Hats off to all the World Supercross crew for putting this together. The TV broadcast worked great for me. I don't know about you guys, but it was just like bam, bam, bam. There wasn't a ton of replays, and they weren't cutting out. They have cleaned it up. Good job, World Supercross. The only thing that they can improve on, and this is so minuscule, but I have to mention it, live timing and scoring. But every series has troubles with live timing and scoring. But hey, we all knew what was going on. And then the other thing is, I wish during the third races, if they could just get something to tell us what the overall is, because I'm not good at math and I need them to kind of count it. Ronnie Talbot, what's up, my old friend? If you guys don't know, Ronnie Talbot I grew up with him. He was the next door neighbor as a kid. He was giant. I was small. He was my big friend, like my big brother. So Talbot, what is up? But yeah, guys, I absolutely love this event. I'm going to come back with a full video. Let me answer some questions here if anyone has any. Let's see. Come on, Cooksey. Kenny only got up to the front from the second row because the talent wasn't in it. Yeah, it was definitely thin. I'm not going to lie. It was definitely thin, but it was fun. Could you think of a more fun race to have? And with this type of a format and this good of an event, this exciting of an event, you're going to see the top riders are going to hopefully start migrating over here. This is a long-term project. They came in completely wrong in World Supercross. They came in promising all this crap, and that wasn't Adam Bailey. That wasn't the management group we have right now. That was a previous management group that is gone, bought out of there. So what they're doing now is they're taking the series, which is, yes, it's a B-level series, Supercross, but they are improving it every single time. And with Paul Malin, Grant Langston, a 2-row start, and in this format, it was You guys tell me, have you seen more exciting racing than that? I haven't, because that was some of the most fun action that I've seen in a long time. Let's see. What happened? Thought the series was 6 to 7 rounds. Yeah, you're going to have to go back and watch my videos. So the series had some financial issues where they had to buy out the current owner and they couldn't get all that done. So yes, they shortened up the series, but they had to do what they had to do. And I can tell you this, it's worth the wait. It's worth getting it right. So that's what happened. Let's see. Joe Friola missed it. Who won? Okay, so I didn't put any spoilers in the title because everyone freaks out when I do that. Joey Savacci won, and then Max Anstey won the 250 class. But it was amazing racing. Chris Blos, my boy from Phoenix, Arizona, won the first race. He looked so good, like his arena cross days. It was more like an arena cross. It reminded me of the MGM. They didn't have a ton of room, which is why the 2-row start was probably utilized. But that's a great experiment. Please do this at every round. Please, 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 please. Let's see. Any word on where Bogle was? I don't know about Bogle, guys. He only time I saw him on camera, he was either getting lapped or picking his bike up. I'm a huge Justin Bogle fan, but it seems like maybe racing has passed him by and maybe it's time to hang it up. I would never tell a guy to hang it up if you can still make money and you still want to. But when I see a guy like Bogle with that kind of talent, I would say maybe pump the brakes just a touch. That's just my opinion. If your heart's not in it, this is a extremely dangerous way to make a living. If your heart's in it, and I'm wrong, go for it. But if your heart's not in it, I say back out. Let's see. Family and friends. What about Chris? I think you're talking about Chris Blos. Chris Blos, the zombie. Dude, he looks so good. So, let's see. What other questions we got? Any update on Brayton? I do not have an update on Brayton yet. Looked pretty nasty. I was told he waved to people and somewhat okay. But that's an example of a guy who I don't know if his heart's completely in it anymore. I feel like he's doing this just because it's a nice way to make money and he can just race 3-4 rounds and do pretty well. I don't like when guys do that. I want to see them with their complete heart into it. I don't want to make this World Supercross a retirement tour, but at the same time, who am I to tell them not to go make money? If you can make money, go for it. Let's see. Oh, Chiz, I don't know. Chiz he started on the second row, and he just, I don't know. I never really saw too much of Chiz. I think he does better. He's not a sprint guy. He's not an arena cross type guy. He's a guy that needs these long races because he's always in shape and he picks guys off towards the end. I really just don't think this format fits Chiz. I did see Nicoletti, Filthy Phil out there. Filthy looked great until he didn't, until he went down. He was up in third in that last main. He was doing really good. Let me check my notes to see if there's anything else I was going to mention to you guys. So what did you guys think of Friese's move? I think it was dirty, but that's just the way it is. I'm okay with it. And if they penalized him for that move, I'd be pissed. Now, if they want to penalize him when Savacci knocked him off the track and he kind of cut the track to stay in front of him, I'm okay with that. If you want to dock him 1 or 2 spots for that, no problem. That's probably what should happen because, I mean, you can't just go off the track and maintain your position. There's no mulligans in the sport. Actually, there is, but there shouldn't be. Yeah, and I can't wait for Australia, guys. All I can do is hope that something happens to Roxon again in qualifying. Just maybe stall it and put him on the second row. Maybe they should make a rule where the point leader always starts second row. God, that'd be fun. You can't really do that because it's kind of dangerous to have the fastest guys in the second row all the time. But once in a while, when that's the position they earn, go for it. Let's see. Speedin 121. I was a little confused on Mumford. He was running like 10th from what I saw. That was live timing and scoring, guys. Live timing and scoring was a cluster. That's the one thing they're going to have to fix with this series. But show me a series. AMA series has been having problems with that for years, so I'm not going to judge them on that. That's such a minuscule thing. It can be fixed. That, and then in the third events, as long as, I wish they gave me like a running total of where everyone was, because I wasn't watching live timing. I didn't check the results, and I kind of, it's early here, so I'm a little out, but I didn't know where the guys were, so. Friese made it hard to watch. What? Caleb Watkins, you're crazy. You're crazy, my man. I appreciate the comment, but Friese made the race amazing. Have you ever been to like the go-kart track? I used to go to pole position with my brother, and we'd have fun. So what I would do is I'd get in front, and I would just hug the insides and slow the pack down and bunch everybody up, you know, and just make it so it's just a cluster. It was so much fun, the racing, and then the guys behind you are trying to pass you, but then they're going to get passed, and that's what Friese did to this field. Yes, it was. I was definitely, I'm not going to lie, I cringed a little bit with those brake checks in that first race when there was that S section where they come back into the track, and he knew there was nowhere to go, so he would just lock it up. And I was like, ooh, that's a bit much there, Vince. Maybe just race forward. But that's what you get. You know, when you have a wild animal, it's going to be a wild animal. That's what Vince Friese is. And man, I'm such a fan. But I guess it got pretty wild in the pits with the owner of, Dean Wilson's team. What's his name? I forget his name, but I guess he was extremely pissed and got to a point. They might have gone to blows. I don't know. I was told I need to get some video of it. So if anyone has any video of that pit incident, please send it to me. I want to see what happened before I judge it. But yeah. Yeah, that section in the back was really tight, extremely tight. I would say this, guys, and if you don't like Vince Friese, whatever. I almost feel like every race should have Vince Friese in the front just to bunch him up, because, like, even if he's not even in the race, just call him an obstacle. Just put Vince Friese in the front and make him block everyone. Just give him like a big orange vest and be like, Vince Friese, he's part of the track. He is your pace rider. He's going to slow the field down and bunch it up. It never happened, but that was fun. So let's see. Yeah, Michael Trentz. I 100%. Vince Friese made this event. He absolutely made this event. He is the bad guy. Did you hear? Even in Abu Dhabi, where guys probably didn't know who he was, when he went on that podium in third, you heard some boos. And if there's one guy that doesn't give a crap, it's Vince Friese. And I love that about Vince. I love that about Vince. Vince wants to win. And it's funny hearing Langston, like, kind of trying to be critical, but yet Langston rode pretty dirty himself, so he kind of respects it. It was fun to watch. JD, yeah, Vince is part of the track. That's probably what we ought to do. So, yeah, I hope there's a video of the pit incident between the owner and Vince Friese. But while I'm a huge fan of that owner, I forget his name, but he's one of the nicest guys out there. He's a huge part of the sport, both domestically and in the world Supercross. I've heard he's one of the nicest guys out there. But as a team owner, you can't go yell at a rider or get into a fist fight with a rider. That's just unacceptable. As the owner, you have to take the higher ground. You're not the one out there, doing battle and with the adrenaline. Like if riders get into a fist fight, I give them a pass because there's so many tempers and stuff. But when the team owners get involved, you can't have that. So that's something they're going to have to look at. Let's see. Vince Friese has more aggressive style. Everyone needs a challenge, and he was there. Yes, absolutely, guys. I loved it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to do a full video on the event, covering it a little more detail and kind of breaking down some of the exact moves. This is just my instant reaction. I'm going to do an open house today. And then after that, I will get a video up for you guys. And yeah, we'll go from there. Remember, subscribe, like the video. I appreciate it. And I will catch you guys later. But hey, I will just say this. Hats off to the World Supercross crew, Adam Bailey, and all his crew. And here's a fun fact for you guys. Feld has about 100 employees on staff, and they produce the event, and that's why it goes down flawlessly. World Supercross has about 10 full-time employees. The rest are people they have to employ in these new areas that nobody's ever been to. and they have to teach them within a few days on how to do all this stuff. So for them to pull this off with that staff, and they're not as giant as the way they made it sound. Hey, thanks for the swamp picker. Thank you for the luck on the open house. Hopefully, I need to sell some houses. That'd be awesome. So, but yeah, they don't have the staff yet. They're not a billion-dollar company, or some of the things that were said about World Supercross when it first came about. They're a small crew who is just doing their best to make this thing happen, and I'm all in on them. I love them, and Adam Bailey and everybody, great. I love the track. I love the tight track. I love the racing. I love the double format. I love the announcers. Great job, guys. All right, I'll catch you later.